Hey guys, how's it going? So this morning I'm really excited about the project. I'm going to be planting out some perennials that are right here that I started from seed this winter. And it's always such a long process that once you get to actually planting them out in the ground, it's so satisfying. And you look at that tray full of beautiful plants and you just think, like, I just saved a bunch of money and that is my own work. Like, I got them to this stage and you feel so proud of yourself. Now, if you were to put like a price on the time you actually spent tending to the seedlings and things like that, it's probably a wash. And so I always think that when I'm buying plants down at the garden center, I'm like, well, somebody had to take a lot of time to get the plant to this stage and I will pay them for that time because it does take a lot. But there's something about tending to those seeds, especially in the wintertime when there's not as much garden work to be doing, that's very satisfying. So I am going to be planting out mostly foxglove, some delphiniums, and eryngium, which is also known as sea holly. And here is a bulk of them. So look at this. Look at this foxglove. Like, I look at these plants and I'm like so thrilled that I actually started this thing from seed. I mean, all of these. Look at all of those foxgloves. Right here we have some delphiniums and they look really great too. And I've got, let's see, I've got 12 delphiniums. I've got a couple other ones tucked into another flat. And I've got lots of different varieties here. So I'm going to gather all of these up and my other stuff, and then we'll go over all the names. Don't these all look just so great? I'm so excited to get these in the ground, and I'm not even sure where they're all gonna go, but I thought we would, while they're all rounded up, we could talk about all the different varieties I've got here, and we'll toss a picture up on the screen so you can see what I'm hoping for either this year or next. There are a couple of varieties of foxglove, these two trays back here, that are second year bloomers, and the rest of them that I started from seed are first year bloomers. So that's exciting. And then I did bring this one flat out, even though I'm not ready to plant the tomatoes. These are the red currant tomatoes. I got the seeds from Floret Flower, and they're itty bitty tomatoes that come out in really long sprays. So I can use those in flower arranging. And then I've got the hot and heavy peppers here that we started from seed earlier on. But I brought it out because I've got two lone delphiniums in here. I didn't have enough cups, like these little plant cups, left when I was bumping them all up in size, so these two little ones had to stay. Anyway, we'll get those planted out, and then this tray will go back in the greenhouse until we're ready. We'll try to find the links to the video, or videos, where I started these from seed. I don't remember if I did it all at once or if there's multiple videos. There's probably multiple. Pretty sure I didn't start these all in one video. But we will link them down below if you want to see the beginning of this process, because there are some things to know when you're beginning your seed starting journey. There are some things I think are really worth investing in. But once you have your setup in place and you have your grow light and you have your seed trays, which are reusable, you can sanitize them and use them the next year. Every consecutive year that you start seeds and you're growing things like this for your garden, the more like the savings add up over time. But since these are perennials and they're cold hardy, I decided to bring them out here and pot them up. Like, I took them out of their seed trays, oh boy, like a month and a half ago or so, and used these leftover annual pansy containers. All the blue pansies I planted out in front of the house, I saved all those containers and then bumped them up to where they could really grow on. And they actually, some seeds prefer to grow on where it's cooler. Like, they need it to be warmer to germinate, and then once they're up and they've got their first set of true leaves or they've got a little bit of growth, they actually want to be put somewhere that's a little cooler to grow on a bit. And every seed packet will tell you not all seed packets are the same, but the seed packets that I get tend to always have the information you need. But if you can't find that, you can always Google search that particular variety and find any information that you need. I can tell you this, when I order seeds from Johnny Seeds or Floret Flower, they come with so much information, it's incredible. So let's talk about our first year blooming foxgloves first. So right here, this whole row, there's two flats. I started a bunch of them because I was excited to learn that they bloomed in the first year. This is the Camelot mix, and they are a mixture of 4 colors. There's cream, lavender, rose, and white. And they grow about 42 to 48 inches tall. And they are a zone 4 through 8. So we garden in a zone 5-6, so they'll be perfectly great in our garden. The Dalmatian peach is another variety that blooms first year. And they're, of course, like a beautiful peach color, and they're a little shorter, so they stay about 2 to 2.5 feet tall, which is really fun to have the variation in height, because that means I can pop them in kind of different spots in the flower bed if I want to. And then we have our 2 varieties of foxglove, which look at the crazy difference in leaf structure. I am really interested to see how these grow. But we've got Cafe Cream and Pink Gin. So these will not bloom this year, they will bloom next year. And the Pink Gin right here grows about 3 to 4 feet tall, and they're a really beautiful kind of shell pink color. And then the Cafe Cream right here, they are a little bit shorter, 24 to 34 inches or so tall, and they have kind of like this mocha-y looking cream color palette. It's just, they're beautiful, and they're supposed to be really productive. Like it says that they'll yield like 10 to 15 stems per plant. So that's incredible. And foxgloves are a biennial plant, which means that typically the plant will focus on sprouting, creating a root system, creating leaves, producing, like storing up a lot of energy that first year, and they wait to bloom the second year. So it's usually not until the second year that you see blooms on those, and then after that second year they go to seed, and they'll reseed themselves around the area you've got them, and that mother plant will die. So the mother plant only lives 2 years. So it comes up, leaves first year, blooms second year, and then is gone, but it usually seeds itself to where you always have a stand going. And once you get them in the ground, and some people have really good luck with them reseeding and some people don't. Like I had great luck in our old garden. I don't know how it's gonna go here because I haven't done a tremendous amount of foxgloves yet. My parents have a horrible time trying to get them to reseed, so it just, everybody's experience is a little different. That's why getting some of these foxgloves that bloom the first year is awesome. That means we'll get a couple of years of beautiful blooms out of them, and I'm hoping they reseed. But I really do love foxgloves. I love the way they look. I love the tall spiky blooms. They are a poisonous plant, as are the delphiniums, so keep that in mind. I don't worry about it in my garden. My cats, I think they kind of have the instinct to know to stay away from certain stuff, as do many other animals. And Benjamin, like we have him out here, and he's learning, like I did as a kid, what plants are okay and what plants aren't. And you know, I think that's important for kids to learn that. Also, I should mention that most foxglove prefer a sun to part sun location. I find that part sun works the best in our area because it's so harsh in the summertime. So if they get a really good strong block of morning sun and then a little bit of filtered sun through the rest of the day, that's usually best. I might plant some of these in a little bit of a sunnier spot this year, just to see what happens, because you never know. And the delphiniums here, they're called Magic Fountains Cherry Blossom, right? Don't ever use wood tags, you guys. This is what happens. They just soak in the water and you can't ever tell, but I think that's what the name is. Anyway, they're a really unusual color. They're kind of plummy but light. And they're beautiful. They grow 3 to 4 feet tall. They have the beautiful, you know, big, thick bloom panicles at the top, and they are a zone 3 through 7. Now, the thing about delphiniums is that some of them are strong perennials and some of them aren't. Like this one, I was doing some reading and it said that, you know, you usually get about 3 good years out of this variety. So that's something to keep in mind. To always kind of have on the schedule to restart some of these seeds after a while, and they may reseed themselves in their spot as well. The other great thing about delphiniums is that they actually prefer a slightly alkaline soil, which I can give this plant. Delphiniums usually do really well for me. So I've got the 12 there and 2 there, 14 delphiniums total. And the last thing, other than a few extra foxglove that I had, like I needed a space for them when they were little itty bitty babies, and the eryngium kind of came up spotty, and that's kind of typical for me with eryngium. That's kind of my luck. So this is the eryngium here. I've got 3 of the Camelot mix foxglove and then 1 of the Cafe Cream right here. And the rest, if you kind of move these big old leaves, are the eryngium, which is a type of sea holly, and they have beautiful kind of thistle-like blooms that are white. So I'm hoping to put these in the moon garden. These like it hot and dry. They attract all the pollinators. They attract a lot of bees. Zone 3 through 8, incredibly winter hardy. The biggest thing for these is that they want really, really well draining soil. Which I might have issues with. So this is going to be an experiment. The west side is traditionally very kind of boggy. So we'll just have to monitor these and see how they do. But the flowers are amazing and they dry really well. And I'm just really excited to have this structure. And I love it that the leaves are soft. So a lot of sea holly, they have really spiky leaves. I have another example. I've just bought a big bunch of eryngium called Big Blue. Aren't those gorgeous? And they maintain that color when they're dried, but these leaves are so pokey, they're like thistles. which, like, honestly, I love the way they look, and I'm just hoping I'm not making a huge mistake. Hopefully they stay contained in the area I'm gonna put them. I'm not planting these today, but there you go. There's the stats on that one. So very different structure than our white glitter. And that was a lot of talking. Sorry, guys. I just figured it'd be easier while I'm standing up and not hunched over in a flower bed. And really all I have left to do is just get these placed and planted. So I think what I'll do is just go around and do that. I'll show you each spot we're going to, and then we'll just take a little tour in the end, and we'll just kind of talk through the area. So yeah, I'm just so excited about this. So fun. And the other awesome thing is that I don't need a big shovel. These are all little holes, which I always love. And this is my favorite trowel, just so you guys know. I think it's like a potting trowel, lifetime trowel. Anyway, we'll link it down below. I really like this shovel. And I need biotone. Where, oh where is it? There it is. Give our babies a good start. And I honestly could not have asked for a better day weather-wise. It's bright, but it's overcast at the same time. It keeps kind of going like from bright overcast to a little bit darker, a little bit of sprinkling. What a great day to transplant seedlings. So now I want to kind of give you a tour of where all they ended up, because they're all in different areas, starting with the last one I planted. So I am over here on the west side where the urns are looking beautiful with the white delphiniums. This is where the white glitter eryngium went. They grow like 40 to 60 inches tall, something like that. And these were the smallest of the seedlings that I wanted to plant today. But honestly, I just wanted to get them out of their tray, and I think that they will be fine. So how many are there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 all together. And I think they'll be gorgeous as a drift right back here, kind of a bank of those. And then I'm gonna do white sunflowers right behind them. I think it'll be beautiful, beautiful. And this area doesn't tend to be as wet or hold as much moisture as the rest of this area. You can probably see like the ground is just saturated in some areas. I mean, it did rain a little bit, but it takes a while for this area to dry out, which is kind of nice in some cases. Like I planted delphiniums and I have not watered them one time since I planted them weeks ago. I did add gypsum to the soil over here, and that's what I always do when I'm planting things in areas like this where the soil is more clay, it holds onto more water. The Eryngium especially will not appreciate that. That's why I chose the driest side, and then I put gypsum at the bottom of the holes, every single hole that I dug for those plants. And then I will be adding gypsum to that soil probably 2 more times this season, so I'll just scratch some in around the plant, and then I'll do it from here on out. And every time I plant something new over here, this is the same kind of soil I had in our last garden, and by the time we left that garden, the soil was a million times better than it was when we first moved in. And it was because I think I added gypsum 3 times a season, and it breaks up hardpan, it conditions soil, it helps drop the pH a little bit, which in our area is a big deal. We have super high pH, so it helps things out, the whole soil chemistry. And I notice the more I use it, the more earthworms I have. The next set is just right over here on the other side of the driveway. Oh, I just love this area so much. So pretty. So I had a Ruby Falls redbud right here. It did not survive, which is so weird. I think it was last spring that I planted it. Could have been the year before, I cannot quite remember, but it did great. It bloomed last year, it leafed out, it was gorgeous, and then it was just completely gone. I think there were like 2 blooms on the main trunk this spring, and that is it. But this is where the pink gin foxgloves went. So they're in a drift starting back here, and they kind of curl around this grass and end right here. I am going to put a boxwood cone right here that I have left over in a container from last year. But these can just happily grow this year, and then we'll look forward to blooms next year. And I think they'll like this spot because even though it's the west side, which right here it gets really, really bright sun, this spot where the foxglove are is kind of where the juniper canopy is, which is not a super thick canopy. It allows a little bit of light in, but not a ton, so I think they'll be happy. So now we'll head to the front yard. Wanted to stop off quick and show you these alliums. These are Globemaster Aliens. They are enormous and gorgeous. Oh, I need more of these in my life, I think. So this is the corner flower bed in Versailles. I've got Delphiniums in here. There's a smattering of perennials, but I put the cafe cream foxgloves right in here, and those will be tall enough to where I think they'll be able to be seen right back in here. There's some oak leaf hydrangeas, a Japanese maple, that's a bloodgood right there. And we've got some gorgeous poppies in here. Look at this. This one just opened this morning. Beautiful, and they're loaded with blooms, with buds. Look at this. Just planted these last spring. And then the Camelot mix, so half of them went right here. So they there's actually some I planted in where the alliums are because these will go away eventually, and I wanted something to have, like, to take its place for the rest of the summer. So we've got a drift that goes around kind of toward the back of those. And so these ones will bloom this year. The cafe creams on the other side will bloom next year. All right, next area. Oh, the carding mill rose. It's blooming. Oh, beautiful. You guys, these looked kind of puny this spring. Like, I had to treat them with iron tone, and they're looking amazing already. So we're cruising to the area behind the gazebo here. Look at that cat's pajama nepeta, blooming its head off. So this spot right here, I put some Camelot mix, which I have some Pagan Purples Delphinium here. There's some David Austin Mary Rose right in here. I'm gonna move the bird bath, I think, either all the way out and put it somewhere else. I'm not sure yet. Erin and I have a project planned for this area right here. But I thought it'd be fun just to tuck some of the Camelot mix right in here and enjoy those blooms. And then this is actually where I started, right here behind the chicken coop. So all the Delphiniums, there's 9 on this side that kind of are right in front of the new maple tree. And then there are 2, 4, 5 on this side right here. So that'll be our higher level. And I left this area back here on purpose because I'm planting something awesome back there that I'm just not quite ready to plant yet. And then I front planted them. So all of this is the Dalmatian peach, which are shorter. So we'll have 2 levels, the delphinium and the foxglove, on both sides. I had to dodge a bunch of tulip leaves that are not ready to be cut back yet, but you can see here, 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 here. They're just like all over in this area right in front of the delphiniums. As we pan this way, this whole area is just filling in. Everything is so fresh right now, you guys. It's so pleasant. Plus the temperature's pleasant, which makes everybody happy. Look at the Brunnera. Ugh. And the Empress Wu Hosta's in there. Holy cow, have they grown. This is a pot I put together last year. This is turning into a mini tour. Can't help myself. I gotta go around the other side. Look at those. They're huge. So I planted these 3, there's a third one over there, 2 years ago, and then filled in this area back here with 3 more, so they're clearly smaller. And I do think I need to maybe pop 1 more right in here to kind of complete it. Either that or, I don't know, something else fun. I have some white foxgloves coming up right there. Maybe I could put more, although I think it might be too shaded as you get deeper in here. I don't know, we'll figure something out. So that is gonna do it for today's video. I'm super glad to have that project done and have those plants in the ground. It did free up some space in the greenhouse, which we sorely needed. Plus they were ready to go, and it's so fun. It's just so fun to have seen them go from itty bitty tiny little seeds to plants that are mature and big enough to be out in our landscape, and to be able to watch them grow and give you guys updates will be so much fun. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.